What's going on, everyone? We're going to have a quick one for you this morning, but if you haven't already heard, we finally have some long-awaited news on Armored Core 6 multiplayer. There's also some news coming out of Italy of when the next press embargo is likely to be lifted, from the same people who leaked the timeline on the last press embargo, so it's probably a fairly reliable source. But I'm going to touch on the multiplayer first, so stick around if you want to hear about the embargo. So our multiplayer info comes to us not from an official press release, but from some box art. Japanese storefronts already have up displays with Armored Core 6 cases, box art, illustrations, etc. And it's the back of the game cases in question that gives us the info we've been searching for. But first I want to give a couple of shout-outs to Prof4 who provided the display case picture, and Entertainment Mission on Reddit who provided the box art picture. Though it doesn't sound like that was the original, I'm not sure who to actually credit for the original photo. But let's take a look at it. So if you take a look at the bottom of the box art, it talks about not only online multiplayer, but the amount of players that are supported as well. And I know what you're thinking, but Ren, I can't read Japanese. Well, neither can I. But thankfully, we have friends that can. We also have Google Translate. And while admittedly the Google Picture translation is mediocre at best, we do have more unofficial translations from fans, so we can get a good idea of what we're in for. And what we're in for is 2 to 6 player battles with up to 3 spectators. Now, of course, it's just a little box at the bottom of the game case, so it doesn't go into details, but I think there's some things we can definitely expect. My assumption for the game types that we'll actually get will be 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, and probably 1 or 2 versions of free-for-all, whether that's a 6-player free-for-all, or we might get like a 4 and a 6 player, or a 3 and a 6 player, something to that effect. Another interesting game mode might be something like 2v2v2, so 3 teams of 2. There's all kinds of options, even with just 6 players. And while I don't know if I actually expect it, we could also get things like 1v5 or 2v4, things like that. It would be great if it just lets you set the parameters of that multiplayer match when you go into it, if you want a harder challenge like that. And while that's by no means confirmed, it's certainly a possibility. The other big news on this one is actually the Spectator mode. So we know it supports up to 3 spectators for a live match. And don't get me wrong, 3 is a really strange number. I'm surprised it's not higher. I'm surprised it doesn't support at least the same amount of spectators as players. But I'll certainly take what I can get. And 3 is not terrible. But of course, the most exciting part about Spectator mode, at least for me, is the ability to get easy, good video of matches, and matches that I don't necessarily have to participate in. See, watching an AC match historically has actually been quite difficult, unless somebody was streaming their screen, and even then you don't get all the different perspectives without a lot of work from all the players involved. Typically, if you wanted to watch a match, you would go into that match with them, and then just fly out of the area, resulting in a loss for you, but in the ability to actually sit and watch the rest of the match. So if there were 1v1 matches going on, and other players wanted to watch, they'd all go in, decide who was fighting, and then the rest would fly outside the area. Not exactly an elegant solution. But having a spectator mode opens all kinds of doors for not only maybe a small kind of esports scene for Armored Core, but a lot easier content creation, potentially live streaming actual tournaments, and presumably it also means that you can just jump in and watch a match if you're not actually looking to play. I would love that. I would love to be able to go online, just search active matches, and jump in as a spectator. Another option I think would be an amazing addition would be able to ban or limit specific weapons. All the better if FromSoft is pretty active in actually balancing the weapons and releasing regular patches for it, which of course we don't know and I don't have high hopes, but the ability to limit specific weapons in a match would be great. It also means if you want to open up like a room for dedicated melee matches or something like that, you could do it easily without having to worry about booting people for not following the rules. Now, of course, with the possibility of a more functional multiplayer esports scene, comes the talk of ranked matches. And again, we have no idea what we're actually getting gameplay mode-wise, but I would love it if we get at least 1v1 ranked matches, and then of course the rest of those in unranked, and it would make me even happier if we get a 2v2 ranked match. Though of course the stipulations to all that is we don't know if it's going to be cross-platform, we don't really know what the servers are going to be set up like, if the US can play with Japan, or if it's global, or if it's just going to be region-locked to your area. We're not sure yet, but it would be a dream come true for a global ranked ladder. Would be amazing. But what are your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comments what kind of game modes you're looking for, what you think we'll get out of this 2 to 6 players, or if you think we're going to get ranked play. What are you excited for about multiplayer? And now, on to the embargo. So I've heard it leaked from Italian press that there is an upcoming press embargo that's going to be lifted sometime this week. And if it follows previous trends, I would expect it to probably be on Wednesday. Now we don't know yet what this embargo is holding back, but hey, maybe it's news on multiplayer. But like I said before, this source has proved right before, and so I assume the information is probably accurate. And I assume we'll probably have new information on Wednesday. And of course, I've gone over previously some of the upcoming news releases that we expect. We just got the story trailer, we likely have a lifting press embargo, there's upcoming gameplay events, the list goes on and on. So really, this is the absolute beginning of just a wave of information until release. I know I'm excited. But that's going to do it for this video. Pretty soon I'll have a deep dive coming up on the story trailer, and of course all kinds of coverage of the new information as well. I also want to say that I have new channel subscriptions up and running. You can jump in there and get some bonus icons, some behind the scenes, things like that, so take a peek. I also want to say that I am so close to that magical 1,000 subscriber mark. As of recording this, we're sitting at 935. So only 65 more before I hit that magical 1,000 mark, which for those who don't know, allows me to actually make a little bit of revenue to support the channel off the views I get, which of course goes a long, long way in helping to support the channel and allowing me to create even more content for you guys. I have tons of plans for the future, so if you want to see the channel grow, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your grandma, tell your dog if he has a YouTube account. Make a YouTube account for your dog. Whatever you need to do. And if you're feeling particularly supportive, don't forget you can join the channel and get some cool bonuses. But that's enough self-plugging for me. Thank you guys for listening. Stay tuned for the deep dive, and I'll see you next time.